Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naisha and this is Brown and Abroad. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss a new upcoming video. Today we're going to be discussing remote work. As some of you may know, I've been working remotely on and off since about 2018. I work in media doing social media management, writing, editing, things like that. And one of the things that I get a lot from people who are interested in, living a more free life, who are interested in maybe working abroad or even, working remotely within the US is how exactly do you find remote work? So today I'm bringing you 5 tips for how to find remote jobs. So this might seem like a no-brainer, but the first thing I'm going to suggest is that you get very, very clear about what type of work you can and want to do. This is not the time to be loosey-goosey and to be like, I want to do anything. No, no, no. This is the time to be really specific and to think really long and hard, not only about your wants and desires, but about what you can do, what your qualifications are, what your skills are, what you have been doing. This is the time to research. If you don't know anything about remote work, research what are the top sectors right now. What are the ones that are on the come up? You have to figure out what types of jobs you are capable of doing. You need to really figure out what type of jobs you're capable of doing and maybe even like what type of work is adjacent to that. So for me, it might be a little bit different, but I work in media. So there is kind of an abundance. It's changing now because of the economy, obviously, but I think that there's an abundance, or I don't know, maybe like how would you call it? A culture of remote work. The second tip I have is to get to networking. So, one thing that I do when I'm looking for new work as a writer is I maybe reach out to other editors that I have relationships with and that I've worked with before. Let them know that, my last contract is up. I have some time. I'm looking, to, just put some work on my roster and wanted to get in touch to see if they have any. Or if they maybe perhaps know someone who, is hiring for, this or that or blah, 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 blah. I also think it's really good, just in general, for people to know that you're looking for remote jobs because so many jobs, as we know, never get kind of like pushed out and advertised. Sometimes they're just advertised, within, a certain like, circle or whatever. But definitely letting people know in your network, mentors, past bosses that you're cool with, past coworkers. I have had to reformat my resume a little bit more in order to make it more remote work friendly, for instance. I say the third thing, which is still kind of networking, is that you're going to want to, really lean into things like LinkedIn, and maybe as a woman, as a queer person, as a black person, there's like lots of different specialized, freelance or Facebook or remote groups that are like on Facebook or, on LinkedIn. So I would say updating your profile, letting people know that you're open for work and what you do, making sure everything is updated. I would say having testimonials and following people and companies that you're interested in working for, as well as being in different groups where the people that are doing the type of work are doing the type of work that you're wanting to do are. That makes sense. And one little thing that I do besides just, looking for jobs, for instance, like on LinkedIn, in like the regular job column, is you can go in and basically what you can do is you can look in, you can click content. You can maybe like put in like a phrase like social media or editor jobs or whatever. And instead of looking through the jobs column, you're looking for like content that people have written on their personal pages, and that will pull up lots of jobs and opportunities that aren't listed as like real job listings. But like I said earlier, that people are circulating within their own network. It's a little tip. The fourth tip I have is to be flexible. So there are still an abundance of work from home jobs, especially if you're talking about like freelancing or consulting work. But there also are a lot of return to work mandates. And a lot of jobs are trying to kind of get through this, or they're trying to, I guess, meet in the middle with having hybrid positions. A hybrid position may be the way to go if, for instance, this is like your first go at finding remote work. It could give you that, it not only might it give you that experience of really working from home or working remotely, which for me, it is a lot different than working in the office. Or it can be a lot different than working in the office or whatever. But maybe be flexible about, the type of work if you're willing to maybe do hybrid, and then maybe in a year, you can look again for, a fully remote job. Or if you maybe need to get some consulting gigs on your, underneath your belt, maybe that's a way for you to go. Or maybe you need to have your own business. Maybe you need to retrain in something new. I suggest something like that as well, because I kind of feel like when it comes to the whole remote work debate or the whole remote work desire, I kind of feel like when it comes to the whole remote work desire, that sometimes it isn't necessarily about wanting to be at home and work remotely as much as it is about wanting to have freedom. And owning one's own business that's maybe mobile is freedom. Oh, speaking of also freedom and being like, I know people who are like travel nurses, and like they go different places. They have like a contract, especially when COVID was like popping. They have like a contract for like a few months. They stack that bread, and then they go to Thailand and they live there, and like, all types of stuff. So there's so many different ways. I know, like, I follow people that are like remote social workers. There are ways, and there are gigs and jobs out there. And the fifth tip I'm going to leave you with is that when all else fails, there's always teaching. Yeah, I said it. There's always teaching. The teaching laws have changed a little bit within the last few years, but there are still a lot of teaching jobs online. And also, a lot of people do things privately. Don't be afraid to try to do things privately. But there's still a lot of online teaching jobs, and some companies out there that are still hiring native English speakers to teach children. So when all else fails, there is online teaching. There is moving abroad and teaching for a little bit. If you just don't want to work in an office and you want to get out of the US, you can do that. And, as long as you have usually like a BA and are a native English speaker and you have a pulse, I hope these tips have been helpful. Let me know in the comments below what your dream job is, and I'll see you next time.